Well, today's August 3rd trade winds more than a zephyr, bordering on gusts of tornadic proportions. Will the moves help push the Cubs to a Commissioner's Trophy? That's what we're here for. It's our Cubs trade deadline special because there have been a whole bunch of hustles as well as bustles. And you see Cubs Twitter going absolutely nuts. Talking about Ryan Zephyr-John, of course, some of the guys that were dealt. Zephyr-John right there, as you see, Holmes on top of Gausman, Kevin Gausman. Just a multitude of moves that were made. Jed and Carter, they're in the kitchen. If you smell that, you know what it is? It's those two cooking. And with that said, come on in to Cubs 360. Cole Wright and the 17-year big leaguer Cliff Floyd.
What up?
Cliff today, as expected. Jed and Carter, they're making moves. A little three-card money going on.
Yeah, you know what? This is A+. This is totally different than our conversation last year.
Sure.
You know, at this time. And when you look at this team, there should be no questions coming from the clubhouse as far as getting better.
Oof.
And when we look at this board, it makes sense to understand what they believe in. And when we had Crane Kenny here about 2 weeks ago, he said this is a championship team. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at it saying, well, yeah, they have some holes, but when you're filling with these type of guys, I just think you put yourself in a great position, along with hopefully getting back Palencia. Absolutely. And getting back Edward Cabrera and getting back, Justin Steele and getting back some dudes. So you're actually getting yourself better, and you didn't get rid of Major League ready ball players. You didn't get rid of anything on your roster. Big Mo, but he was in and out, right? I mean, you have to give up something to get something. So my point is, when you get to this point, the boys come in today, and going back to that former player that I was, it just feels good when you see these dudes come into the clubhouse. That's what you want. You want to be able to put yourself in position every year to say, are we really fighting for a chip? Because that's what you do in spring training. Yeah, if the ultimate goal ain't to win the championship, then what are we doing here?
Does it give you an extra gear knowing that the front office, okay, they're going for it, we're going for it just that much more?
Yeah, because that's what it boils down to. You don't ever throw good money in a bad situation. You go out and you go, hey, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day with these dudes. But when you look at the Dodgers and their recipe, it's like we're gonna get as much as we can. Yeah. We don't know what the arm is going to be, but you're going to get as much as you can to put yourself in position to win, because winning feels good. That's what you do. It's about championships. And so every year we hear so much, hoopla about the Dodgers. So what? They got the money, right? So you won the Ohtani sweepstakes, you got them. And then you put yourself in a position where it's like, we're getting the best reliever. We're going to go out and get the best starter. We're going to go out and add another starter. Yeah. So then it takes so much pressure, whether Kyle Tucker is struggling or not. Doesn't matter. They're 13 games up in the West. Yeah. The division's over. So I just look at it today from the Cubs' perspective, a great day.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that Clay Holmes deal that sent Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor to the Chicago Cubs. Jefferson Rojas, now a member of the Metropolitans, but Holmes, he had a rehab outing yesterday dealing with that fractured right fibula, and he does have a $12 million player option, but in that rehab outing, 73 pitches, 5 1/3. He said he is more than ready to go out there on the mound in a major league game and get some outs, Cliff.
Well, look, he's had 3 rehab starts, right? And I think when you look at him getting better, you send your scouts down there, and his stuff, and I'm going to tell you something, when he's right, his stuff is just as good as anybody in the sport. So, and on the flip side, Tyrone Taylor, he's found something with the bat because he's always been a great defender. But when you add in the bat that he's had of late, it made it a great deal for the Cubs.
Without a doubt. And Clay Holmes, we know that the Cubs and Mets have already made a deal for David Peterson. And David Peterson, he's been close to immaculate in 5 of his 6 outings. Only 1 clunker versus St. Louis.
Yeah, just finding something. It's in there. And sometimes it's about different scenery and figuring out something. And I'm not taking anything from Hottovy. It's more of just the player, the guy you acquired. You see something in these guys to put yourself in position to acquire them. And I think when you look at Peterson, it's just been about hitting the strike zone, in and out, missing bats, trusting the secondary stuff, and he's been good.
Okay, next up, a dude I've been banging the drum for at least the last 3 weeks, coming from the Los Angeles Angels, Ryan Zephyr-John. This is a dude who throws absolute payloads. Look at that. Moises Ballesteros, that's a tough blow. Everyone knows that he was certainly a fan favorite. And Mason McGuire, he was a right-handed arm that was certainly on the come up. But Zephyr-John, well, he's ARB eligible in 2028. He's under team control till 2030 and throwing 97, 98, Cliff. Do you like that when the barn doors swing open?
Yeah, you know what? You have to love this, especially with the bullpen, dealing with so many injuries this year, and Craig's doing a phenomenal job. But when you talk about a guy with a big arm that can trust his sweeper, you can't sit on 97, 98. I think you just, it just speaks to him going out there, and these numbers are real. I mean, he has a big sweeper, right? He trusts that sweeper, and his fastball velocity right there, 97.4. I'm going with 98.
Okay.
That's what they've been missing down there with Palencia out.
Sure.
Right? So, and maybe when Ben Brown comes back, he's in the bullpen. So now you're putting yourself in a position to go deep into September and going into the postseason. First, obviously, you got to get there and put yourself in a great position, but you have the guys to go do it.
No doubt.
I think that's what it boils down to.
Even though you have the Gold Glove defense, how important is the swing and miss that Zephyr John presents, especially in a postseason series?
I mean, it's all about the strikeouts, right? When you think about, big outs in the postseason, it comes down to who you trust from Craig Counsell's perspective to get big outs before you pass the baton over to Palencia when he's back healthy. So if you don't get him back to where he once was, you still have a guy that can go get some big outs when you need it. They didn't have this luxury. So today, I believe getting a big arm like this for that bullpen adds just to the depth. Now you have some depth, and we're gonna get into it when we get Bruiser on the set. But the depth now allows you to do some different things and allow guys to not feel that pressure that they've been feeling.
Well, I have a good feeling that Daniel Palencia is on the mend
Yeah.
because he was out on the field yesterday looking slim, trim, was even shagging a few balls at first base for Tommy Hodavy's son, and a little show infield going on. So
Nice.
that is a sign in the right direction. Now, we're going to keep things moving because last night, that's when the dominoes began to fall for the Chicago Cubs ball club, and Kevin Gausman, he is a proven factor in the postseason, and you see, well, an infielder and an outfielder, and Ty Southasing and Brett Bateman, they go to the Toronto Blue Jays. But to have a wily veteran like this dude, Kevin Gausman, like we said, when it comes to the postseason, a season ago, 26 strikeouts, only 4 free passes, and a 2.93. You need swing and miss out of the bullpen, but it also helps to start the game off with it, Cliff.
Yeah, so I watched him a couple starts ago. I was in Toronto, and I get a chance to watch him, and it just didn't look good, didn't look comfortable on the mound. Last outing looked really good. So I look at him as a guy, when you talk about a veteran, a guy that's pitched well in the postseason, when you look at the 6 appearances, has been phenomenal in the postseason. These are the arms that you're trusting. You're getting veteran, really still good ball players, and, to go out there and pitch for you. And again, with a rotation that can put, Boyd, Holmes, Shota, Gausman, Cabrera, Peter, this is the slew you want, right? I mean, now you kind of bake, it's kind of one of those things where you're fighting in that rotation to stay. That's what you want. You want a good, fun competition. And they have that now amongst the boys. That's even without Javier Assad and maybe Colin Wright, who maybe go down to the bullpen. You don't know, right? So these are all the things that you look for, especially this point in the season where you've had so much turmoil that you're looking for something positive.
Well, competition, it does breed success, and Kevin Gausman, he looks to be successful in a Cubs uniform. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's in the final year of a $110 million deal, and at 35 years old, what does he want to do? Well, he wants to win. Of course, so close, just 2 outs away from a World Series championship a season ago. Maybe this year, the proof will be in the pudding. We'll find out in just a little bit because our guy, as Cliff said, Bruiser, a.k.a. Bruce Levine, he's stopping by to talk about those trade wins. That's what we're doing right here on our Cubs trade deadline special. Keep with us right here. This is Cubs 360.